Hello folks, Fuzzfinger here and welcome back to Final Fantasy IV. Today we are going to be taking on the hardest boss we have encountered up until this point, so please do stick around and join me and hopefully we'll get through this together. If you enjoy this episode, please remember to hit the like button and let's get on with today's adventure. Here we are back in Baron Castle and I'm just about to enter the throne room where we're going to encounter the next, encounter quite frankly. But before we do that, there's something I'm going to suggest, and that is unequipping Palom and Porom. Now this is actually going to make the next fight quite a bit more difficult, but it's the only way to keep their equipment, which is something we do want to do. So we're going to give it a go without any equipment on Palom or Porom, and this could be potentially very nasty indeed. My controls seem to have messed up, so I need to go and sort that out in a moment. Let's just do this first of all. So we're going to go to remove once more. And hopefully we'll manage to get through the next fight. So when you're ready then, we're just going to continue heading north into the throne room, and that will kick off a set of cutscenes. So we're going to head inside now and just keep heading to the northern part until this cutscene kicks off, as I mentioned. And we have the King of Baron here. He seems very happy to see us. Or not, as the case may be. So we've just learned that the King of Baron is not in fact the King of Baron, and he is an imposter. Yes, this is Cagnazzo, and he is a water fiend and a servant, as he tells us, of Gold Bez. We won't be planning to do any bowing before him though. We will be planning on killing him. In order to defeat Cagnazzo, we're going to have to follow a very specific strategy, because he has numerous attacks, many of which are going to slaughter us basically. Not all of them damaging attacks, although there is one main damaging attack called Tsunami, which basically is going to decimate your party. Fortunately, there's a way to stop it from being cast at all, and that's what we need to do. So he'll only cast Tsunami when he's surrounded by water. And when he is surrounded by water, any thunder damage is going to cause him to not be surrounded by water any longer. So here is the basic strategy that we're going to follow. Palom, who is our Black Mage caster, is going to do nothing throughout this fight really, except cast thunder spells. And I'm casting normal thunder spells at the moment rather than Thunder R, just to try and save MP. But as the fight goes on, I'll probably switch to Thunder R if we're managing to get through and not use much of our MP reserves. So you might want to just switch to Thunder R depending on how this fight goes for me immediately. Tsunami, by the way, that I mentioned, can also one-shot your characters with the death effect. Another reason why you don't want him casting it at all. So Palom is going to be casting thunder spells constantly. Cecil, his first turn is going to be used to cover Palom, and then he's just going to attack throughout the rest of the fight. But don't attack physically while the water is around. You just want to cast thunder on him at that point. Who have we got next? We've got Porom, and Porom is going to start by crying, using the cry ability, which will lower the defense of the boss, and then after that he's going to really be focused on healing. But you can also cast slow, which I did forget to do earlier, so I'm not going to do it now. But you can cast slow on this fiend, and that does work as well. And also make sure you cast Shout and Protect, either by using Tellar or Porom on the entire party. But Tellar is first of all going to be focusing on getting haste up on Palom so we can get those thunder spells off. and then also on himself. And as this boss does like to cast slow, make sure that you keep reapplying haste when and where is necessary to those two characters. And make sure your white mages are also casting Asuna on Paralyze and some of these other nasty status ailments as well. As for Yang, Yang is going to be casting 3 rounds of focus before attacking for massive damage. This boss has just over 10,000 health, so we do need that nice damage in from Yang. He's going to be our main damage dealer in this encounter. When the boss goes into its shell, as you can see it has done so here, it is going to be healing itself for about 800 per time. So the good news is it doesn't attack during this phase. Just try and get as much damage done to it as possible to counter its healing effects. But other than that, you just need to keep up on healing. It does also like to counter with silence from time to time. So when it does so, just throw an Echo Herbs on the character, probably Palom, that has been silenced. But even with no equipment on Porom and Palom, which we removed just before the start of this encounter, so long as you stick to the strategy that I'm giving you, then you really shouldn't have too much trouble. If you don't stick to the strategy, then this fight becomes basically a nightmare in every way. So just keep that focus up on Yang so that we can get his triple focused attacks in. It does so much damage. It actually depletes probably about half of the boss's health, at least for my Yang, because he's you know, a relatively high level. You can also cast Bio on this fellow as well. Oh, my game minimised then, I apologise. I don't know why it keeps doing that actually. Just randomly it'll minimise and I have to just click it and bring it back up again. So there's that silence I was telling you about. We do need to get an item on that to get it healed. Or you can get another character to cast Asuna on Palom or whoever it is that's been silenced on your fight to get that removed as soon as possible. So we're looking for Echo Herbs. There it is. And that fuzzy stuff you can see around Yang, that's basically his focus that we've cast on him. So don't worry about that thinking it's a negative status ailment, it isn't. And I'm going to be hitting him with some harder Thunderar spells now so we can try and just counter these heals that he's casting. If you get chance during this phase, you might also want to throw some hard spells on him such as Blizzard, and even Bio works. But for now I'm happy just to stick to the Thunderar, and Tellar's MP does deplete quite quickly because he doesn't have all that much in all honesty. So I'm only going to be using him really to cast haste and if necessary Asuna. So we've got our 3 rounds there. But now that the fella's pops up out of his shell, we need to get this Thunderar recasting. And as you can see, the thunder will remove that water barrier. And we've done it. And that was quite a smooth encounter overall. We've managed to keep everybody alive and at good health levels as well. But that is that encounter, so hopefully you guys will get through that as well, if you're playing with me. And we get a nice amount of experience for killing this fella as well. So we're bound to level up. It can be a bit of a slog, that fight, but just keep at it and you'll get there. It probably helped as well, gaining those extra couple of levels that we gained earlier on trying to farm that rare mob. The water, can't think of his name, the flood worm, that was it, but never actually found him in the end anyway. So it looks like every character is going to be levelling up. And after that somewhat tough encounter, then we'll get another set of cutscenes and move the story onwards.
The drowned king, Cagnazzo, deposed, but the wicked are not wont to fall alone. In life, I was terrible. In death, steeped in terror, greater still. I saw the brine of it for you in hell.
So this doesn't sound good. Cagnazzo is not finished with us yet, and he set us into a trap with the walls closing on us.
This one too.
Cecil! We'll miss you! It was almost like we gained to know your brother.
What's gotten into you two?
We won't let you all die like this! Tella, look after Cecil for us. Together! Now! Right!
Palom. Porum.
They turned themselves to stone? Hold on now. Essela! Fools. If any of us had to die, it ought to have been me.
They were only children.
I'll fire up the Enterprise! We'll venge them both!
You will answer for this, Golbez.
Oh, how sad for Palom and Porom. But at least Tellar did have the idea of using a sooner, even though it didn't work. That's more than I can say for Cloud in Final Fantasy VII when he had a big stock of Phoenix Downs after that tragic event happens at the end of Disc 1. Anyway, meanwhile, we're going to just take a switch back to a scene with Golbez. So Golbez is thinking about the final crystal, and Cain here has the idea of getting Cecil to do the dirty work of retrieving it in exchange for the safety of Rosa. They have a hostage at the end of the day, may as well put her to use. At this point, our party makes their way through a secret passageway and actually boards Sid's airship. So it looks like we're going to be free at last to explore the skies. But you've probably guessed by this point that's not going to be the case. It's not going to take Cain long to catch up with us and lay out the ultimatum that they've just discussed with Golbez.
So, you did survive. Impressive.
Cain, what in the world's gotten into you?
Where's Rosa? She's safe, I trust.
Worried about her, are you? If you wish to see Rosa live, fetch me the Earth Crystal from the land of Troya.
What? How craven play.
I'll make contact once you have it. You do well to hurry, if you value Rosa's life.
How dare you?
Open your eyes to what you're doing, Cain!
This meeting is over.
What do we do?
Blast that Cain.
We make for Troya. Sid, set us on a course for the northwest.
So now we can actually fly the airship around, and that doesn't look like natural manoeuvring, does it? So Cain has obviously laid down the trade deal here, and it doesn't look as though we've got much choice but to follow his orders at the moment. So before we actually go gallivanting off in Sid's airship, there's a few other bits and bobs we can get done first. We're going to land immediately here back in Baron, and we've got Sid in our party, so we're going to have to go ahead and equip him before doing anything else. Here he is, look, just chilling up the top here. So what we're going to do is give him the headband, give him the Kempo G, or Gi, and a ruby ring is also pretty decent, so we're going to give him one of those. And now we're just going to sort out our rows. So we're going to want Cecil on the front row here. Sorry, not Cecil. Cecil's obviously already on the front row. Sid even. We go to party formation. Okay, so it's not going to allow us to do it in the easy sense. So what we're going to do is move Cecil to there. Move Yang to there. And then move Cecil up there, and then we'll swap rows. That way Tellar is back on the back, and all the other three are at the front where we want them. Right, so before we do anything else, we're going to save, but actually I'm going to finish off the episode here for today, folks, so I can go and get some lunch, because I'm hungry. Thanks for joining me. I hope this has been helpful to you and that you enjoyed that boss fight as well. It's a bit of a tough one, I know, but get the strategy right and it's all fine and good. But thanks for joining me today. Come back soon as we continue on with more Final Fantasy IV. Bye for now, folks. Take care.